non-human, and that was the assessment of people with direct knowledge on the program I talked to that are currently still on the program. I know of multiple colleagues of mine that got physically injured.
That Jesus revealed herself. Can you say it, yes?
Timmy, why you do this to me? Please, Timmy. I'm afraid.
It's alive. It's moving. It's alive. Oh, it's alive. It's alive. It's alive. It's alive. In the name of God.
Welcome to
Cousins of the Crypt podcast. We're back, everybody.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to episode 5. It is good to be back, man.
Yes, sir.
We got another spooky one for you guys. If y'all haven't seen episode 1, 2, 3, and 4, they're on our channel. Please go check them out. Give us some love, support, like and subscribe. Man, dude, I'm so excited to get on this. Episode 5, it's a banger. I mean, it's number 5, reach 5 episodes to me. I'm ecstatic for that one.
I am too, cuz I am too. And so this story we got here is actually from one of our viewers, so we're going to go again. And actually, I believe this same person sent us the same story already.
Okay,
so
we
we got another one coming back to us. So
We got regular customers now, everybody.
Yeah, and we need a lot more to keep on rolling. So
Send them
keep
the
on sending them.
Zemos.
So keep on sending them. So, alrighty, you ready to get through this?
Absolutely.
I'm excited too. Let's get into it.
Check out the background, guys. We got the little 90s playing for y'all back there.
Heck
Little
yeah.
entertainment.
Hi, how are you guys doing this evening? Well, I'm here to tell you another story, one about a premonition that I had when I was a young girl. Unfortunately, it wasn't a very good end to the story, but it is definitely a premonition, and I believe to this day that would I had known that's what it was, then maybe I could have done something. But I'll go ahead and explain the story, and this is how it goes. Well, I was about 16 years old at the time, and my best friend was about 18 years old. She had just moved into an apartment with her boyfriend at the time, and she was super excited and happy, and she was going to have a party, a get-together on the weekend, and that weekend that she was going to do that, I had to go visit my mom that weekend, so I wasn't able to go to her new apartment and to be able to see it. And so she was a little upset with me, and I was kind of sad that I wasn't able to be there for the welcome party for her. But while I was in Austin, it was Saturday night. I was laying in bed. It was about 11:30. My mom had a 2-story house at the time, and I was upstairs in my old bedroom. And I live in Houston now, and that was in Austin. And so she comes upstairs, and all of a sudden, it's like as if though I'm asleep. The lights were off. And all of a sudden, I heard my mom at the door, knocking on the door. Are you okay? Are you okay? She called my name. And all of a sudden, I opened my eyes and was sitting in the bed. And she walked in and she says, are you all right? I said, well, what are you talking about? I was asleep. She says, no, we heard screaming and yelling and somebody banging on the door as if though they were banging on the door. And I told her, well, I was asleep. But for some odd reason, I feel like I'm scared, like something bad's going to happen to somebody. I don't know to who or to what or to when, but something bad's going to happen. And I started crying, and I was super scared. And so she calmed me down. It was as if though I had a nightmare, and I never had a nightmare. But, the only thing I remember is crying and screaming and yelling and saying that something bad's going to happen to somebody. But for them, it heard as if though somebody was banging and yelling and screaming for help. And the dog was barking and barking. So that's what caught her attention to go upstairs to see what was going on. But it was a weird nightmare, kind of like I did it, but I didn't do it. So anyway, I didn't think anything of it. I winded up coming back to Houston on Monday. I called my best friend that Tuesday, and we were supposed to get together when I got back into town, and she didn't answer. And so I was like, okay, well, I'll call her again. And so I called her on Wednesday. I called her on Thursday. She didn't answer. And I started becoming a little puzzled with the fact that, she wasn't returning my calls. And so I didn't pay any mind to it. At the time, I was doing a little summer job. And, I was thinking, okay, well, she's with her boyfriend enjoying her new apartment, and she'll call me whenever, she's ready for me to come visit her. Well, about a week after that, I get phone call from her sister because I had called her and left a message with her mom telling her that, let her know that I'm trying to reach her, I'm back into town. And so her sister was calling me back and she wanted to know what was so important that I needed to tell her. Like, why was I trying to get in touch with her? And I explained to her sister, well, I just got back from into town. I wasn't able to go to her get together with you guys. So I was just wanting to come and visit her and see her new apartment. Well, her sister told me, okay, that, that's all we needed to know. And she hung up on me. And so I was like, what the heck? So I called my girlfriend's phone again and I called it again. And so finally somebody answered. And then it was her mom. And I was like, hi, may I, can I speak to her? And her mom was like, well, again, what was so important that you needed to speak to her? I said, well, I just told your daughter, I just had gotten into town and I wanted to visit with her. And then the mom, started crying. And I was like, okay, well, can I go ahead and speak with her? And then the mom said, unfortunately, my best friend had gotten killed that Wednesday at her new apartment. And I thought they were playing a really bad joke on me. I began to cry and I'm like, don't play with me like that. Let me speak to her. She's got to be okay. And her mom was crying hysterically and she hung up. And, I was so young, I didn't understand at the time what had actually happened. But many years later, after years and years of going back and thinking about that story and thinking about her, I remember her mom coming to see me at work, and there was a detective and they had come to visit me at work. And I was like, well, why are y'all here? And, that's when I found out that, unfortunately she had been murdered. And they wanted to interview anybody and everybody that was close to her at the time so that they could see what clues or what they had to what had happened to her. But the story was that, she just moved into this apartment. She lived upstairs. She was going in and out of the apartment, and she was supposed to meet her mom and sister that afternoon, and her boyfriend had gone to work. So she was just doing last minute laundry. So what they think is, as she was going down to do the laundry, she didn't lock her door. But when she came back upstairs, somebody was already in the apartment, because when they found her, the boyfriend had come home. Nobody had reached her. So they actually thought she was with me the whole day. So when he got home and she didn't go and pick him up, and he got home, he walked into the bedroom, and unfortunately she had been tied up and bonded, and, she had been raped and it wasn't a very good ending. And, I think to this day, I somehow connected my premonition with something happening to her, but I didn't know it was going to be her or that it was going to happen. I was such a close relationship with her that it was as though for the many years after that, I would always think, as if though I would have been with her. Like, I knew her like the back of my hand, that, I knew she would have fought. And, I just couldn't believe that had happened to her. Like, the way that they found her and, what had happened. And it's, I had nightmares for years and years. And many years after that, I must have been like in my late 30s. I get a call from her sister. I didn't get to go to the funeral because they had already buried her. And again, I was the afterthought. They weren't really concerned about me. They were concerned about the fact that they had just lost her. And so many years later, her sister calls me and wanted me to know that they found the person who had killed her. It had been 20 years, and the person who had killed her was actually a guy that had lived downstairs at the time with his girlfriend. It was a young guy. And they found him with new DNA, and the man was actually a hobo on the street who had lost his mind. So, the irony of that story is that, many years later, they did catch the killer, and unfortunately, it didn't end well. But, again, that's a premonition that, I had, and I just don't know if it was coincidence or not, but I'm going to call it a premonition because I knew something bad was going to happen. I just didn't know to who, to when, or to what or where. Again, it was something that I still live with today and thinking about her always and forever. I do thank you guys for listening to this story, and it's not such a scary story, but it definitely is a premonition and makes you think, how are we connected in a psychic way? Thank you again. Have a good night.
Whoa.
Hey, man. That's a different one. That's a different story. Dang.
The chills.
Yep.
The chills.
Dang.
I think first and foremost, appreciate you, caller, for sharing that story with us.
For sure. Thank you.
That was by far a different story we've ever encountered here on Cousin of the Crypt podcast. Premonition.
Wow. And also, deep regards to your friend. Sorry
Absolutely.
that happened. Yeah. Dang.
Wow. Where to start? I don't.
What do you think? Cause dang.
I think that the coincidence is it's too big of a coincidence to not be something more, in my opinion. Right?
I agree.
What does she call it? A
Premonitions or premonitions?
Yes. Yeah. There's no way she could have known, right?
No,
But that
no.
feeling,
Right? Yeah.
gosh, of
For that dream she had
and not even remembering the dream. That's the weird part, right?
Yeah. But knowing something bad happened.
And then just feeling it, like your body's just overwhelmed with this bad gut feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know what it is, and days later you realize that very moment you had that, someone close to you was in the end of their life. Actually, fighting for their life.
Yeah.
Goodness, I think that oof. In my opinion, I think maybe there has to be some kind of a touch of a spiritual connection there.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a spirit or
Or she has some kind of powers or something.
could be she dialed in. Maybe she's just got a little insight with that other realm.
Right.
That we don't see.
Yeah.
Wow, that one blows me away, guys. I think it's not a coincidence. I think it is a premonition, and I think there's caller. You have a touch with the spiritual realm somehow. I think that's my conclusion on that one. Giving me Conjuring, Lorraine Warren vibes, kind of.
All right. Yeah.
Kind of. Touch something and get a reading off it, kind of deal, right?
I hear you. And it makes you think, right? Or what if she already passed, right? Her friend already passed, and then when she was asleep, the caller was asleep. It kind of transitioned to the dreams, like, hey, this bad thing happened to me. This is what happened to me.
Something happened to me bad, and she's trying to let her know since they were maybe so close.
Yeah.
Very true.
Dang.
Man,
before she goes off into the heavens.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Ooh, that's 100% a possibility.
All right.
Goodness.
Yeah.
Again, caller, I can't thank you enough for sharing that deep story with us.
Yep.
You got us thrown for a loop here. I think we all do a little research on this one.
Let's do it.
Let's see.
What do you think?
I'm thinking a search of scary premonitions that came true.
Scary premonitions.
Let's see what that brings up.
Let me see dream, because she was having a dream.
Yeah.
Scary dream.
It was like a bad dream, like she said, and she never had a bad dream. So.
Scary dream. Came true. Alrighty, having a dream that accurately predicts the future event, especially a frightening one, can be a very unsettling experience. While some people report having these types of precognitive dreams, they're relatively rare, and there isn't a scientific consensus as why they occur. Explanations often range from selective recall, people remembering dreams that align with events and forgetting those that don't, to more paranormal interpretations.
Ooh.
Dang.
See? It's a touch of
Yeah,
the realm, dude. I'm
paranormal
telling you.
realm, yeah.
I'm telling you.
You hit it right on the nail. Dang.
That's crazy.
Unexplained phenomena.
What about Reddit? We got anything on Reddit? That's AI, right?
Yeah, that's AI.
That's
yeah.
AI.
3 people dreamt something that came true. 23 people. Has anyone ever dreamed and it came true in reality? Or what is the strangest most? Let's try this one. Later in this life, what is anyone experienced this and what is their story behind it?
Okay, let's
Remember
take a
this
look
one?
here. Slow 802584. 2 years ago. Alright, one time I dreamt I was riding my bike down the hill. My chain slipped off, pedal brakes. As I dragged my feet trying to slow down, I heard an odd cricket chirp, then zoomed across an intersection where a white carpet cleaning van hit me hard and killed me. Holy crap. I recalled the cheek on pavement view of the asphalt fading to dark, and it stayed dark and empty for what felt like forever. Months later, I'm riding my bike down a steep hill, and my chain slips off. As I was dragging my feet trying to stop, I had an uneasy deja vu moment. Then the cricket chirps, and it all rushed back to me. I threw the bike down and skid to a painful stop. At the bottom of the hill, a white carpet cleaning van ran a stop sign and zoomed through the intersection.
Gosh.
What?
Dang.
All right. Tell me that doesn't scream Final Destination.
Right.
That gives me
Close.
Final Destination
Close.
vibe all the
For
way.
sure, death.
Goodness, sir, you've
Dang.
cheated death, or ma'am, you have cheated death 100%.
For sure.
And if you're still out there, it's looking for you.
Right. And also,
That's
I don't-
crazy.
I don't know about you, but when I have dreams sometimes, and then some deja vu happen, moment in the moment, you're like, man, I could have swear I had a dream or something about it. Right?
Yes, so I've never had a dream and then had something happen, but I've had that feeling where I was like, this dude is about to fall off of here or do something. Like, I'm looking at a setting of somewheres in real life, and I'm seeing something play out, and I'm like, I've seen this before. I have that feeling. I feel like this is going to happen next, and it does. And I'm like, either I'm really good at calling it,
right.
or somewhere, somehow, maybe in my sleep, maybe I've been touched by a spirit in my dream, and it showed me something. Nothing significant, If it would show me some winning lottery ticket.
Right, shoot.
Touch me, man. Touch me. But
Heck
yeah, that I've had that feeling before. Now I have had a dream where, like back in high school, early high school days, getting into working out, and for some reason had a dream in the locker room, and I had like a needle, and then I didn't do no drugs or nothing, but for some reason the dream is me looking in the mirror, and I have this syringe, and I put the syringe like through my neck for some reason. And as I do it, I wake up out of my dream. Oh my God, what the heck am I dreaming about? And my neck is hurting right where the syringe went.
Oh, wow, okay.
And tell me why. I get up and I go to the bathroom. I start looking like, hey, what the heck? Because it hurts. And there's nothing there. Nothing.
Gosh.
That is strange.
Yeah.
I didn't sleep that night, to say the least.
Right.
But that's the closest I've come to anything in my life. In that ballpark of strange dreams coming true.
I had kind of like the same scenario, but it's where, like, I don't know if you had this, but you're dreaming like your teeth, and you're like, hey, teeth, and then all of a sudden your teeth falls out.
Oh no!
Like in the dream, no. Like some tooth of your mind falls out, and you're like, when you wake up, you're like, oh man, my teeth. And then, but later on, you came to find out that your teeth had like a cavity or something like that.
Your body was telling you, kind
yeah,
of like
right.
That's a warning sign.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird.
That is like a premonition,
right? A little
That
bit,
is.
right?
Your body's sending you the signal.
Yeah, so hey, you gotta check it out.
Like, hey, yeah, warning, there's
Warning.
something going on
Yeah,
here.
or your teeth gonna fall out. But
Oh
it
my
feels so
God.
real though. You know the dreams, these crazy dreams, and then you wake up like,
Yeah, you start counting money.
yeah, I do. Yeah, hold up. Freaking the front teeth too.
Goodness, man. Yeah, imagine you woke up and you were like, no teeth.
Oh man.
Or you would touch it and it was like, oh.
Start coming off.
I feel like that's been in a movie somewhere.
Yeah, for sure.
Comment down below if y'all seen the movie. I know there's been a horror movie out there where there's teeth falling, they can't help it.
Yeah.
Put it down in the comments. I can't think of it, guys.
Or come up with one of y'all, if y'all had a dream before, and y'all just,
Tell us about it.
Tell us about it down in the comments.
Shoot us an email.
Yeah.
What do you think, cuz? You want to search something up?
Yeah, I'm thinking more as dream.
Again, guys, we appreciate the support. Please like and subscribe. Tell us what you think about this. Any premonitions out there, dreams that have come true? Let's share those stories.
A dream about a death in the family, even if it seems to come true, is not necessarily a premonition of death. Dreams are often symbolic, and the death in the dream could represent a significant change or end of a phase in your life. It's important to consider the context of the dream and your relationship with the person involved to understand its potential meaning.
Whoa, that an AI response? That's an AI response, right?
Yeah.
I just want to point this out. It is important to consider the context of the dream
Yeah.
and your relationship with the person involved to understand its potential meaning.
Listen to
AI is telling us our dreams are important.
Yep.
Appreciate the advice, AI.
Right? Yep. There's some meaning to them. What does it mean when you're dreaming about someone? A little death, dying and dreaming, trying to become a new person. Well, I have a dream of a family member dying. And one okay.
Oh, snap.
One came true. Uh-oh. You want to read it?
All right, let's dive into this one. This is dreams about a post 10 months ago. Hello, in maybe 2020, I can't remember the dates. I had a dream my aunt who had passed told me someone was going to pass on a Tuesday, and I never really told anyone my dream because I didn't really think too much into it. Well, that's where you messed up, sir. That week, I was told my dad's brother, my uncle, was in the ICU. I was in total shock because I had no idea he was even sick, yet alone to be in the ICU. My dad did not have a lot of information as to why he was there because my uncle never really talked about his health. That Tuesday night around 9, I was in my room with my boyfriend at the time, and my mom came into the room and told me my uncle had coded.
Yeah, that's when code is when it's bad. Like,
Oh, okay.
in the military, not military, in
Okay.
the hotel, hospital.
Hospital lingo.
Yeah.
Okay. Had coded and things were not looking good. We drove straight to the hospital and they said he went 5 minutes without oxygen, which coming from healthcare standpoint, no, that is not a very good sign. He was placed on essential life support, but I felt he has already been gone before actually pulling the plug the next morning on Wednesday.
Okay.
I felt so overwhelmed with my many emotions because what my dream said actually predicted. I do have many dreams where I speak to my dead relatives. Whoa. Back up. I do have many dreams where I speak to my dead relatives and they try to tell me things, but sadly always wake up forgetting almost immediately. SMH.
Right.
This last recent dream I had was one involving my cousins and so other members along with myself in a car. Some other members along with myself in the car. The car was seated in an order where I had to be the last but the youngest. The passenger seat happened to be my cousin who was battling kidney failure. Backstory, my cousin has lived through many medical things. She's probably one of the strongest people I know. From meningitis, lupus, kidney rejection twice, cardiac arrest at dialysis, where she lost a lot of blood, many more procedures since she was maybe 8. This year she passed in early June, and I now see more dreams of death, and I am in the loop of them this time. My dreams feel like my death is coming sooner than I'd hope. I feel more sad because I have a 4-month-old daughter, and the idea of me not being able to be here physically in her life scares me. And my in-laws are not the best people, so I do feel they will pull her away and not talk well about me or my family to her. Me and my family have always been welcoming to them, but they think their son can do better and I'm not good enough. Last night I had a dream where one of my cousins was talking about her own passing, and I was telling her how I was sad and didn't get to know my daughter because I left when she was so young. I was recognizing people in the room and noticed their ages, but I hadn't known we were all dead.
Yeah.
I'm a bit on edge these days, but maybe I'm overthinking. Or maybe I can foresee things others can't. Is anyone else like this? Holy moly. Alright.
We might have to create an account and message them and see if they're still alive.
Yeah, we're going to have to dig into this one.
All right.
Dreams, if you're watching this, please send us an email. Are you out there? Did you make it?
Yeah.
I hope you did. Hope you still got your family going strong. Wow, dude, that's nuts.
Dang.
The uncle part.
That's crazy.
Okay, I don't know. This is a lot.
Yeah, that's
First of all, I don't like all this cousin throwing out
right.
there stuff right now.
I know, right? Dang.
If you ever dream about me, cuz you better tell me
I will.
immediately.
I will. I'll call you right then and
Be
there.
like, yeah, it's gonna be Friday.
Yeah, cuz watch out, it's gonna be Friday. Yeah.
Dang.
Then it'll be Final Destination for real. If you
Oh my gosh.
Dang, that's crazy. Dang.
Dude, that is nuts. I couldn't imagine that. Like, you have dreams, you know, and like sometimes you don't think of them. Like nothing, you know, like, oh wow, that was just a crazy dream.
Right.
You know, I'll tell my cousin or I'll tell, you know, my wife or whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you go about your day.
That's it.
Maybe you forget or they were going to tell them later.
Yeah.
And later's too late.
All right.
They're already gone. And I see you. So, if y'all having dreams out there about family, tell them.
Yeah. And tell them you
Could
love
save
them.
their life.
I know.
And then you'll be in Final Destination.
Just
You know,
come back.
learn from death, you'll live.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Dang.
Dude, that is nuts, dude. That's crazy.
That's a crazy story.
Ooh-wee.
Gosh. Well. So. Dang.
Premonitions
Thank you,
are
dreams.
out there, guys.
Yeah. And so, yeah. Hope y'all liked the video. Y'all need to keep on sending stories, right? These videos are all made from stories, story-based, so keep on sending them. Email us right here. Here's the email. And, again, it can be from MP3 audio or even from your iPhone. You can email it real quick right there. Or written down, type it up. You know, you can use AI as long as it's your story, right? Pop it up real quick. And then again, then you can use a video camera, record yourself if you wanna. You can be, and we will react to you right here in our next video. And so keep on sending them. Come on, and yeah. And what do you got?
Yeah, that's it, guys. We do this because we love talking about spooky stuff, spooky stories.
Mm-hmm.
We love the interaction. We appreciate the support we have. Hope to gain more.
Mm-hmm.
Check out our TikTok. It's Cousin of the Crypt Podcast. Same thing on
Same
TikTok. We break down our episodes, part 1, 2, 3. Break them down for you. So if you haven't seen our episodes and you know more of a scroller, check out. You know, follow us. Take them one part at a time whenever you can. Squeeze them in there on your breaks, whatever. We appreciate the support. We appreciate the views. And we love this stuff.
Yeah.
This one here was a good example. You know, it doesn't always have to be a spooky ghost in the corner of your room, right?
No.
You know, it could be real life. This was a premonition story, but do not be mistaken. Someone was murdered in cold blood.
Yep.
Some people say the most spooky things out there are other people, right?
Right. Yeah.
So,
For sure.
you know, we love this stuff, guys. Shout out to the '90s background.
Oh, for sure.
Comment on your favorite deal. Child's
Upgraded.
Play,
Yeah.
Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street, Leprechaun, whatever you saw back there. Drop down in the comments. Tell us what your all-time favorite franchise is.
Sure.
Mine for sure is don't shoot me, right? But Scream. I love the Screams,
Okay,
original
Scream,
Screams, right?
Scream.
That's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
Not to take away from anything else,
Yeah.
but that's my number one.
Mine's Halloween.
Halloween,
Yeah, I like
Michael
Rob
Myers.
Zombie's though. Rob Zombie one. A lot of people don't like Rob Zombie's Halloween. But
I do like
Halloween.
Rob Zombie.
Yeah.
That was a good remake for
Yeah.
sure. He took off with that one.
Yeah.
I will agree with you on that one. That was really good. But that's what we got today, folks. I
Yep.
appreciate y'all viewing and watching. And like Gus said, shoot us some emails.
Yeah.
Let's keep this thing going.
Heck yeah.
Love to hear what y'all got to say. And we'll tune in
Yeah.
for the next
the
episode,
next one.
guys. We're signing off.
Signing off.
We'll see you next time.
Yeah. What was that?